When the Soviet Union invaded Finland in November 1939, it expected a swift victory. Instead, it walked into a frozen nightmare. The conflict, known as the Winter War, would last just over 3 months, but it would become one of the most astonishing underdog stories of the Second World War. And at the heart of that story stood a quiet Finnish farmer with an iron-sighted rifle and superhuman patience. His name was Simo Häyhä. The Soviets called him Belaya Smrt, the White Death. A farmer called to war. Before he became a legend, Häyhä lived an unremarkable rural life in southeastern Finland near the Russian border. Born in 1905, he grew up hunting in dense forests and competing in local shooting contests. Like all Finnish men of his era, he completed compulsory military service in the mid-1920s. Afterward, he returned home, joining the Finnish Civil Guard as a reservist while continuing to farm and hunt. Nothing about his background suggested global notoriety. He wasn't a career soldier, he wasn't a military theorist, he wasn't even particularly tall, standing just over 5 feet. But what he did possess was extraordinary marksmanship developed through years of disciplined shooting competitions and relentless practice. When the Soviet Union attacked Finland on November 30th, 1939, Häyhä was mobilized along with thousands of reservists. What followed would turn him into one of the most discussed snipers in military history: the battlefield of ice. The Winter War was fought under brutal conditions. Temperatures regularly plunged between -20 and -40 degrees Fahrenheit, -29 to -40 degrees Celsius. Rifles jammed, metal froze to bare skin, breath crystallized in the air. Soviet forces vastly outnumbered the Finns and possessed superior tanks, artillery, and aircraft. Yet Finnish soldiers had 2 crucial advantages: mobility in snow-covered terrain and intimate knowledge of the landscape. Häyhä was deployed to the Kola sector, one of the fiercest defensive fronts. There, small Finnish units, sometimes only a few dozen men, held off thousands of Soviet troops. Finnish soldiers dressed in white camouflage, blending seamlessly into forests and snowbanks. Soviet troops, by contrast, often wore darker uniforms that stood out starkly against the snow. The imbalance in numbers was staggering, but terrain and skill leveled the field. The 500-kill debate. Häyhä is widely credited with 505 confirmed sniper kills during the Winter War. Some historical accounts suggest the number could be slightly higher, possibly exceeding 520. Finnish military records documented his confirmed kills carefully, though exact wartime counts are always subject to scrutiny. Even at the conservative figure of 505, Häyhä holds the highest officially recorded number of sniper kills in any major conflict. For comparison, Soviet sniper Ivan Sidorenko is often cited with approximately 500 confirmed kills during World War II. It is important to note that the Winter War lasted only about 105 days. That means Häyhä averaged roughly 5 confirmed kills per day, an astonishing rate under extreme conditions. Some sources also claim he eliminated additional Soviet soldiers using a submachine gun in close combat, potentially bringing his total wartime kills higher. However, the most reliably documented figure remains 505 sniper kills. No scope, no flash, no mistakes. One of the most fascinating aspects of Häyhä's reputation is his refusal to use a telescopic sight. Instead, he relied entirely on iron sights mounted on his Finnish M2830 rifle, a variant of the Mosin Nagant. Why avoid a scope? There were practical reasons. A scope could reflect sunlight and reveal a sniper's position. It also required raising one's head slightly higher, increasing visibility to enemy shooters. In subzero temperatures, scopes could fog or malfunction. By using iron sights, Häyhä kept a lower profile and reduced the risk of detection. His decades of hunting had trained his eye to shoot instinctively and accurately without magnification. His shooting position was equally unconventional. While many snipers fire lying prone, Häyhä often shot from a compact seated position. This allowed greater stability in deep snow and faster target acquisition. He even packed snow in front of his rifle to reduce muzzle flash and conceal his location. To prevent visible breath vapor from giving him away, he sometimes held snow in his mouth while waiting for targets. This was not theatrics. It was survival. Terror on the Soviet front. As Häyhä's kill count grew, Soviet troops reportedly became deeply anxious about the unseen sniper haunting the White Forests. The nickname White Death emerged among Red Army soldiers who feared stepping into open terrain. Soviet commanders attempted to eliminate him through counter-sniper teams and concentrated artillery fire. Yet he repeatedly survived these efforts. In several documented instances, he outshot enemy snipers sent specifically to hunt him. The Soviets also faced internal challenges. Joseph Stalin's purges of the late 1930s had removed many experienced officers from command, weakening leadership at crucial moments. Poor coordination and rigid tactics further compounded Soviet losses. By the end of the war, Soviet casualties were estimated at over 300,000 killed, wounded, or missing, while Finnish losses were significantly lower, though still devastating for a small nation. Though Finland ultimately ceded some territory in the March 1940 peace agreement, it retained its independence. For many Finns, that alone marked a strategic victory. A sniper nearly killed. On March 6, 1940, just days before the war ended, Häyhä's luck nearly ran out. He was struck in the face by an explosive bullet fired by a Soviet soldier. The round shattered his jaw and severely damaged the left side of his face. Accounts describe the injury as catastrophic. He was evacuated unconscious, and for days his survival was uncertain. Remarkably, he regained consciousness on March 13, 1940, the same day the Winter War officially ended. He underwent multiple reconstructive surgeries and endured years of recovery. His face remained visibly altered for the rest of his life, but he survived what could easily have been a fatal wound. From battlefield to farm. After the war, Häyhä did not seek fame. He returned to civilian life, focusing on hunting, farming, and dog breeding. Finland promoted him from corporal to second lieutenant during the war, one of the most significant battlefield promotions in Finnish military history. In later decades, he occasionally spoke about his wartime experience, though he did so modestly. When asked whether he felt remorse, he reportedly replied that he did only what he was ordered to do, and did it as well as he could. He lived quietly for decades, witnessing the transformation of the 20th century from global war to the digital age. Simo Häyhä died in 2002 at the age of 96. Myth, legend, and reality. Like many historical figures associated with war, Häyhä's story has been amplified by popular culture. Comparisons to fictional assassins and action heroes often exaggerate the mystique surrounding him. Yet beneath the legend lies a documented record of extraordinary battlefield effectiveness. His success was not supernatural, it was the result of training, patience, discipline, and adaptation to extreme conditions. The Winter War itself remains a study in asymmetric conflict, how a smaller nation leveraged terrain, morale, and tactical innovation to resist a vastly larger power. Häyhä became its most famous symbol, the White Death's legacy. Today, military historians continue to analyze his techniques. Sniper doctrine has evolved dramatically with modern optics, rangefinders, and digital systems. But the principles Häyhä embodied, concealment, preparation, calm under pressure, remain foundational. His life also illustrates something deeper, the duality of war. A quiet farmer became one of the most lethal marksmen in history, then returned to a life of rural simplicity. No speeches, no memoirs chasing glory, just a man shaped by extraordinary circumstances. In the frozen forests of 1939 to 1940, he proved that precision could rival numbers and discipline could outmatch chaos. Whether viewed as a national hero, a military anomaly, or a sobering reminder of war's human cost, Simo Häyhä's story endures as one of the most remarkable chapters of the Second World War. The White Death vanished back into the snow. But history never forgot him. If you found this video of the White Death as unbelievable as it was real, imagine what other forgotten legends are still buried in history's shadows. If you enjoy deep dives into powerful, untold stories like this, make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss the next one.